Wow, 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 wah, 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 wah.
Ta-da! Hello everybody, we're back for another drum lessons with Mr. Rickman, and today I have another piece for you from the initial grade book. This is meant to be pre-grade 1, very easy to understand these pieces from this book, but there's plenty of challenge in them. Maybe this gives you half an hour of challenge, maybe this gives you an hour of challenge, maybe this piece gives you days and days and weeks of challenge. Let's find out. On the right foot, it is called On the Right Foot. And what can I tell you about it? There are two sections, A and B. A is MF, medium loud, mezzo forte. B is F. You can see just under the bit in that area. There is a little F, so forte, loud in section B. Medium at the start, big after the middle. Section A, once it gets going, is quite 4-beat flavoured, which is just... You might know that as right side, both hands. There's a few changes and it comes to life a little bit. Also, it doesn't use the ride cymbal, it uses the hi-hats. So if you're playing on a real kit, pop your leading hand over on a closed hi-hat instead. No ride cymbal in this piece. Couple of crashes. Section B, once it gets going, is not 4-beat flavoured. It is 8-beat flavoured. So it will help you a lot if you know what 4 beats and 8 beats are. Anyway, to business. Let's start from the start of section A. Top line looks very, very easy, and it is. We have 4 crotchets on the bass drum, T, 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 and then 3 more, 5, 6, 7, and the final crotchet is on what? What's the very last hit in the top line? A snare with a crash, that's right. So here's the whole top line, it's really easy. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Easy. Then, for the next line of section A, our 4-beat starts to happen. So we're going to cross the hands over and do some right side both hands. Then repeat. That's the first half of that line. Dead easy. What happens in the other half of that line? It's a little trickier. You've got a bass and a crash, then a normal snare with hi-hat, then you've got a hi-hat but there's 2 basses with it, followed by easy both hands. Now that bar is the first tricky, intricate one that we've really met so far this lesson, right here. Bass and a crash, then a both hands, then a right side, just a bass, both hands. I'm going to get back on the kit and do a few of them in a row, because we need to be smooth at that before we even think about building this section. So here's that bar, a bunch of times round. Join in if you dare. 1, 2, 3, and 4. Go back and do that a few more times if you need to. The following bar, a little bit simpler. We have a right side and a both hands, and then a coffee, coffee. Look at the very end of the second line here. What drums do we need for the last 4 hits? Cop feet, cop feet. What's it on? 2 snares and a high and a low. There is, however, a bass drum with that. So, before we move on, I'm going to try and put together the second half of this line, from here to the end. And I'm going to try and loop it round, because we need this bit to be strong before we attempt the whole piece. So, second half of the second line, let's do it a bunch of times. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And again. There it is. Okay, so I feel we're ready to put all of section A together. That's the top 2 lines on the page. Here comes me doing that. Join in with this when you're ready for it. Here's the whole top 2 lines. Section A. 1, 2, 3. Here we go, bass drum. Repeat. Then. And there's all of A. As always, if that was tricky, go back and try it some more, or the exercise before that. Might take you a few tries. It's meant to take you a few tries, don't worry. But moving on to section B. Section B doesn't use the 4 beat like section A does. What did I say it used? Section B uses the 8 beat. So our cymbal hand is no longer going 1, 2, 3, 4. It's going to be going 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Luckily, once we learn the first bar of it, there's lots of repeating that. So, first bar of B, I'm going to ignore the crash for now. Just pretend it's a hi-hat. First bar of B goes. Hopefully you're spotting that double bass drum. If you wanted to use other words to describe this, you could say right side ting, both hands ting, right side, both hands ting. Maybe take a moment to pause the video and get good at that. Once you are good at that, there's not much else to dazzle you in this line. Yes, it starts with a crash. The second bar is the same but doesn't have a crash. The third bar is just a repeat of that. And the final bar of that line is the same, but you do 2 snares at the very end. So I'll just stop talking and play the whole top line of B as it is. Get your 8 beats ready. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat. Last bar. Alright. Good. What do we get next in the bottom line? More good news is what we get, because we are just repeating a lot of what we've just learnt. So let me just come round and have a point for you. In the bottom line, this first bar is the same as that. This second bar is the same as that. That's a repeat just like that. So all of that is the same as all of that. We just have to learn this new bit, and that's all the learning we need. So we're now in the bottom line, looking at the second half, the last half a line of the whole piece. Our rhythm says coffee, 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 tea. Excuse me. Now, what drums do we need for all those coffees? Take a second and have a look. They are meant to be on snare drum, then high tom and low tom. The whole of that starts with a bass drum. Coffee, 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 bosh. Let's try that together one more time. 3 and 4 and coffee, 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 bosh. Right. Shall we put the very bottom line of the page all together? Let's. Here's me doing the whole bottom line. Second line of B. Bottom line on your page. Starting with our crash into the 8-beat. 3 and 4 and. Repeat. Then the coffees. That's how it goes. Go back and do that a few times if you need to. Otherwise, here's me doing all of section B, from there to the end, the whole second half of the page. What am I going to watch out for here? I'm going to watch out for finishing this line on a double snare and being ready to start the bottom line on a crash. Apart from that, I'll try not to get caught out by it. Here's me doing all of B slowly. Play along with me when you're ready. 3 and 4 and. Repeat that bar. Here comes the double snare. Ready? Then all the coffees. Beautiful. Okay, now we are ready to start thinking about putting the whole piece together. As always, rewind and do whatever you need to again. Only move on to this when you're comfortable with it. Now, the style we are told to play in is solid funk. Solid funk, as opposed to what? Liquid? Whatever. Do I have a funky song on here we can use? Let's find out. Start at the start. I've got rock, I've got funk. 90. That'll do us. Alright, shush. Now, the whole piece is meant to be at 90 beats per minute. So I will give you 3 different speeds you can practice along with. We'll do 90 last. Before that, we'll do 75. Before that, we'll do 60. So here's the whole piece at 60. The first line will feel very, very slow, but that's okay. You will be glad of the slowness when you get towards the bottom. The whole piece at 60. Good luck, everyone. One, two, three, here we go, bass drums. Ready? Repeat. Repeat. Coffees. There you have it. The whole piece at 60. Didn't I say the start would be boring? But by the time we get to the bottom line, we're moving a bit, even at 60. If that was a shock for you, for how difficult it was, don't worry. Just don't go any further than this until you're more ready. Go back and practice whichever bits are tricky. You can pause me and shut me up and go and have 5 minutes of doing whichever tricky bit you want by yourself. But when you're ready, here's me doing speed number 2, which will be 75. Right. So I'll count you in. 1, 2, 3, here we go. There you go, the whole piece at 75. If you're good and strong at doing it at 60, it's not much extra faff to go at 75. And it won't be much extra faff to go at 90. Make sure you are super comfortable at the first speed, or slower if you want to practice away from the video. Adding a little extra speed is not much bother if you have the skills strongly. Anyway, when you are ready, and not before, here is the entire piece at full speed, which is 90. Please don't start till I count you in. Good luck, everyone. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, go. And there it is. There's the whole thing. Okay, so please take your time with the video. Please take your time with the piece. Remember, you are not here to suffer and have problems. You are here to enjoy this and only attempt jobs which are doable and then get them strong before you move on. Okay, that was On the Right Foot, a reasonably achievable initial grade piece in solid funk. Thank you very much for watching and listening. Enjoy your practice, and we'll see you next time.